Right.
Long4Life is Brian Joffe's new investment vehicle, focused on health and wellness. Market cap here, 2.5 billion rand, no PE or dividend yield.
And that's quite common. So we're not going to see, except for those that have been on the market for a while, price to earnings ratios or dividends, because they don't really exist in order to distribute capital, obviously, yet. And the profits will only come when they add the businesses.
When you heard about Brian Joffe's new venture, JP, how did you react?
Well, firstly, I think it was positive for market participants that someone with the exhibited above average skill of allocating capital in Brian Joffe's previous work of Bidvest has not decided to hang up his boots when it came to the regulatory retirement age, but actually wanted to have a second stab at it and continue in another vein with another listed company. So between him and Kevin Hedderwick, previously a famous brands and now the Chief Operating Officer of Long4Life, it was positive that investors could once again allocate capital into the hands of these two gentlemen, with the expectation that they will continue, as they've done in the past, of allocating this capital very well.
And there's a lot on the line here for Brian Joffe, who has carved himself a favourable reputation, as you well put it, JP, in terms of delivering well above market returns for investors who've played in his space. Can he do it again?
Well, look, I think it's a good thing that he's directly involved and hands-on, because what sometimes happens is these old corporate titans go into sort of retirement mode and then they lend their name to something as a non-executive and everyone gets excited. But if he's not really involved, does it mean anything? Anyway, there are two company deals that are already on the books, so to speak.
Hold Sport?
Hold Sport, which is another listed entity where they're talking about a deal, and then the other one is Sorbet, which is the dry bars and the wellness clinics in malls, and I think everybody's familiar with that brand, where a deal has already been done, part cash, part shares, from the founder of that business, Ian Furr.
And Ian Furr obviously now working alongside Brian Joffe in the recent press release, saying how happy he is to be working alongside the corporate titan that you've termed him, Paul.
Yes, and what is positive is Ian Furr is staying on, even though they have sold 100% of the business. Management for at least the next 5 years is staying on, and that's important also because Sorbet is extending their reach into the UK with a handful of stores having opened there. My wife goes to a Sorbet every week, so I see through her and her hair and nails and what she does there that it has a very strong brand, and it really, once you are in that system and they've got a loyalty scheme going on, they send you an SMS and a few extra things on your birthday, so it really creates a connection with the customer. And that is one of the most important things of any company, to have that connection. And through that connection, you create loyalty, you have pricing power, and you've got a customer for life. So the business I like a lot. The purchase price at just over 100 million rand, I was surprised. I thought the business might be worth more.
Yeah,
but there's a lot of growth.
I also thought it was a very small
Although
sum
it's a
of
business
money
that's had
paid
a lot
for
of
it.
capital spend in the roll up and roll out. So I think that's partly why it comes in at a fairly low level.
Yes, and with any franchise business, you need scale. So the royalty payments is obviously on the revenue of all your stores of the franchisees, and the more stores you have, the more money you get at head office to cover your costs. So
Let's not forget that the last transaction that Joffe did within the Bidvest fold was Adcock Ingram, which didn't go down very well. So perhaps he's trying to recover from that failure.
Could be. Maybe some people said maybe he missed something in the healthcare sector. Sorbet is a bit different. It is more, the end consumer is not a healthcare user, it's more the person in the street going for a different reason. But I think he's done so many deals over the years that getting 9 out of 10 right doesn't mean that people remember the 1 out of 10 you didn't get right.
And who knows, maybe they can go knock on Bidvest door and say, sell Adcock to us, although that's a big business. Hold Sport is also a big business. Lots of sportsman's warehouse, lots of outdoor warehouse, and again, because it's listed, I think it's going to be tricky to see. But you know what, this is all about sentiment. People like a story. You can tell already there's a lot of story here. And that broad sort of Long4Life, health, wellness, outdoorsy, going to the spa sort of thing. I mean, it's a very broad bucket. They can buy almost anything in there.
It's about longevity. It's about living longer. And
everybody wants to do that, I
exactly.
assume.
So the medical element as well, Paul, has got to creep into this, which could swing back to the Adcock Ingram fold.
It could. I think it's more a consumer play than anything else, than a business-to-business type play. But I mean, this global trend of living healthier, living longer, as the execs have shown in their own longing for a second life in business, shows that there's definitely is a very strong current of capital that can be attracted in the sector. And it's trading at a premium to its NAV already since day one, so that already shows some excitement in the market. They can use that scrip, which has got a premium, to buy shares with scrip as they
They
are
may even do
proposing to
further
with
capital
Holdsport.
raising by additional placements.
Exactly,
Very
and that
likely.
pulls up the NAV as well. So if you can raise capital in a premium to NAV, that in itself creates value. So a lot of arrows still in their quiver because the share price is coming to the party as well.
Was it exciting enough for you to get some action at the listing?
No, it was a bit small for us. We like the individuals involved, and we will still wait to see. I mean, the main way in which I analyze companies is based on their past performance. So what I can do in the case of Long4Life is look at the past performance of Sorbet and Holdsport, and given the size of the two, more Holdsport has got a decent track record. It was part of Moersport. There were a few issues not growing strongly in the last year or two, but if one says that in the next 5 years the SA consumer might come back, well then Holdsport will also come back and see some good revenue growth.
But
so
it
based
does
on
depend
that,
on the SA consumer
it
at
does.
the end of the day.
But
And
it's
based on
sports
that, on
apparel,
Holdsport,
which we
it looks
like,
decent.
remember?
I can't see sports apparel being defensive, Paul.
No, but you know, people need to go out and work out, and Discovery's got them going on the park run. So what are you going to wear when you go there? You got to look good.
All right,
Come
so
on.
let's have a look at the share price graph again.
It's a little bit short dated, so it bounces around. But as JP said, it's trading at a premium. It's about R6.50, and it's looking good. So let's
Hot
go hot
or
or not.
not?
Given the individuals involved and the fact that they're buying Holdsport with the use of some scrip at a premium, I would say hot.
Paul, hot or not?
Yeah, hot. I like it, and the people involved.